Welcome, everybody. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me today. We've got a bunch of stuff to go through. So whether you're a dentist, a practice manager, or part of the leadership team in your office, hopefully you go away with some things that you can take and use right away. So here's what I'm hoping to impart on you today. Number one the first thing is the number one behavior that's driving patients away, and you might not even realize it. Also want to talk about how outdated marketing tactics are costing you new patient opportunities. Um, and on that, what you've been doing may not be working best for you. And then just some small operational missteps that create big revenue leaks. And then I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about some proven strategies to streamline your patient experience and hopefully help boost retention. So, what is the number one behavior driving away patients? Well, it's poor communication and lack of patient engagement. And here's how it hurts. It causes missed appointments, low retention rates, and probably the worst of all is negative reviews, because that's today's word of mouth. So if you're getting negative reviews, it really does affect you. And how do you fix it? Well, you need to implement personalized follow-ups, clear pre and post visit instructions, and implement active listening. Um, so let me dive into those things a little bit. So here's why it happens. It's because your patients really they want to feel heard and cared for and confident that they chose the right dental office. And when your communication falls short, that trust can really crumble. And they're also seeing communications from your competitors all the time. So every time they do, that brings a question into their head. Oh, did I make the right choice? So poor communication isn't just an inconvenience, it's one of the fastest ways to drive patients away from your practice. So what kind of things might you be doing? Well, infrequent or impersonal follow-ups can be an issue. Um, if you're not communicating often enough, or if your communications are just not personalized, patients know that. They feel that, right? And it just feels like, yeah, this is just a cookie cutter thing, and they don't feel like you really care. Another thing is failure to educate patients about their treatment options. Often this creates fear. Patients who don't understand what their treatment options are, um, often don't understand what it is that you are recommending. And so if you can explain to them what options they have, they feel like they at least have an opportunity to participate, and that gives them confidence that they're getting the right thing for their needs. And then the last thing is not addressing patient concerns or feedback. I mean, if you're getting concerns from your patients or feedback from them, um, take action on it. Listen to what they're saying, because if you hear it from one patient, it's probably an issue from other patients. And if they have specific concerns about their treatment, again, if that's not addressed, then that creates fear for them, and you don't want to do that. So how do you fix it? Turning things around doesn't have to be complicated. It just takes the right systems and a patient-first approach. Everything should have a patient-first approach. So by focusing on clear, consistent, personalized communication, you can build trust, hopefully boost retention. In other words, not have it a revolving door, because you can bring patients in the door, but if they're just going out the back door, then your practice isn't going to grow. And then finally, you want to create a patient experience that people rave about. And with technology today, you can use automated and personalized follow-ups that are tailored to your patient's needs. It's really easy to be able to sort your patients based on what their needs are and have your software communicate with them in that way. Provide very clear pre and post visit instructions for every appointment. Again, confused patients can be afraid or can lose trust in you. And then train your staff on active listening and empathetic communication, um, because they might not talk to you about it, but they might talk to your staff about whatever it is that their concerns are. It might be that they feel more comfortable with the person at the front desk, or maybe the hygienist or assistant. So it's important to train everybody on active listening, and how to be empathetic with your patients. So What uh, what outdated marketing tactics could be costing you growth? Well, many practices still depend almost 100% on referrals, print ads, local sponsorships, those types of things, direct mail as their primary marketing strategy. And don't get me wrong, they still have value. And sometimes I would recommend that you add those into the mix for sure, but they shouldn't be the sole driver of your consistent scalable growth. Because in today's digital world, patients they're searching online for dentists. If you're not showing up, you're basically invisible. So there's very limited reach. Yes, you can reach some people, but you're not going to reach the large percentage of the population. Without a proactive digital presence, your patient base can become stagnant. You really slow down your patient acquisition, and your competitors who are out there on digital media or have a good digital presence, they're getting those patients, and you're not. And it's not just about getting new patients. It helps retain your existing ones. Without email marketing and social engagement, you're missing opportunities to bring back lapsed patients. Often things that are posted on social media or come out in your email newsletter or communication are the things that have people start to think, oh yes, you know what, I should go back and often they might be thinking, for example, that, oh, you know what? I've seen a new technology out there that I think that would be really cool because, let's just say digital impressions. They might be the patient that says, my least favorite part of going to the dentist is when I get those goopy impressions. So I just saw that this guy down the street has digital impressions. I'm going to go there. Guess what? They might see on your social media or an email that comes to them that you have that. And now that goes away because they're like, oh, wow, my dentist has that. Excellent. I'm going to go back. When you embrace digital platforms and invest in things like SEO, PPC, social media, and email marketing, um, you will definitely drive new patient inquiries consistently because that's where they are. Modernize your referral strategy. So instead of just relying on your patients to go out and refer patients to you, um, which is passive word of mouth, implement an online review and referral program that rewards patients for sharing their experiences. Your online reviews are the new word of mouth. And if you're not getting consistent online reviews, and you might have a lot of reviews, but if the last one was 6 months ago, people look at that and they go, I wonder if things have changed since then. And if they go to your competitor and they have reviews that are very consistent over the last few weeks or months, they're probably going to pick them. Be where your patients are. Engage on platforms they use like Google, Instagram, Facebook, and provide helpful content that builds trust and credibility. If people could fix their own teeth, they would, but they can't. They need an expert. So show them that you're the expert by providing them helpful content, things that they may not know, and teaching them that you are the source of information about dentistry. And here's a tip. By using digital marketing and advertising methods, it gives you real-time data, and you can use that analytics to refine and improve your campaigns so you get maximum impact. And it's not a set it and forget it thing either. So please make sure that you don't do it that way because it's going to end up costing you money that you don't want to spend, and you probably won't get the results that you're looking for. So let's talk about some strategies to boost retention and streamline the patient experience. So the first thing is you really need to create a patient-centric culture. They don't they just don't want dental care. They want to feel valued and understood and comfortable. So if you create a patient-centered culture, you can build long-term trust and loyalty and turn those first-time visitors into lifelong advocates. And that's really what you want to do, right? Because it costs you a certain amount of money to get someone in the door. So you want to make sure that that person stays as long as they possibly can. Because the average value of a new patient in the first year can be anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500, but the lifetime value of a patient is probably closer to 12 to $15,000. So pretty important to keep them around for a long time. So prioritize comfort, communication, and care. So let's start with communication. Um, if you prioritize clear and compassionate communication, that means explain treatment plans in a simple, jargon-free language. In other words, don't use dental speak. You're a professional and you can speak to your colleagues that way, but your patients don't understand. Using words like prophy, they don't understand what that is. So make sure you speak in a language that they understand, and then listen actively. Make them feel heard and address their concerns thoughtfully. you know, Often there will be signs that there's an issue, and watch for those. Really try and make sure that they feel comfortable about what's going on. And then follow up after appointments to check on their recovery and satisfaction. And this doesn't have to be, you picking up the phone and calling. However, that's great. But a simple text, that comes automatically from your system that says, just checking on you from your procedure today. Hoping everything's okay. If there's a problem, please call us at this number. And that just makes them feel like, hey, they really care. And even though it's not something that you did personally, your systems did it, it feels to the patient like it's something that is personalized to them. Um, and here's also a tip: send email summaries with treatment plans or give printed out copies. And this gives the patient something to refer back to. You understand everything that's going to happen. They don't. And they're listening to all the stuff you're telling them, but they're not retaining all of it. And they go home and they're like, oh, I think this is how it works. And if they have something in an email or a printed out piece of paper that explains everything to them, often they're going to be able to refer back to that. So pretty important to do that. And then you want to enhance your in-office experience. So train your staff to greet patients warmly and maintain a positive professional atmosphere. That seems like, yeah, obviously, but you know what? Sometimes that's not easy for them to do. Maybe your staff's having a bad day. Um, so just be consistent and make sure that you remind your staff. Often, you can have a huddle in the morning to really just create a positive atmosphere where your staff feels like they can be positive. Um, and it starts the day in a very positive way that will just go through the entire day that way. Reduce wait times. One of the worst things is making people wait. Um, and often it's difficult when they're sitting there in the waiting room and they don't understand why they're having to wait. My appointment was at this time, and now it's 30 minutes past that. Why am I still sitting here? Well, we know that happens. Sometimes emergencies come up, and you can't get them in on time. So keep them informed. Just let them know, hey, we had this happen. We're going to be another 10 minutes or another 15 minutes. And just because if people understand what's going on, they're going to be a lot more comfortable. Then offer comfort touches like water, blankets, noise canceling headphones for patients. Um, this was interesting, just come up a little while ago. We were looking at reviews from one of our clients, and consistently people were saying they loved having Netflix in the office while they're or in the chair while they're getting their dental work done. So guess what? That type of thing really resonates. Another thing that I would recommend is create a branded goodie bag that patients get at the end of their appointment. Sometimes you just get this generic little bag of toothpaste and a toothbrush and some floss. But let me tell you a story. One of our clients had someone come in for their first appointment. They didn't realize that this person was an influencer with a lot of followers, and they gave her a very nice goodie bag. When she went out to her car, she opened it on video and showed her excitement about what she got. That video went viral, had over 300,000 views in the first 24 hours, and ended up creating a situation where this client was booked out for months. So you never know when this kind of stuff is going to make a big difference. Plus, if it's nice stuff, you've got somebody out there with your swag that somebody else might see. And then also make sure you leverage automation because technology has become part of everybody's lives. It shapes how we connect, communicate, and interact on a daily basis. And that should also apply to your dental practice. So use things like online booking systems that let patients schedule at any time, day or night. And I know often we get pushback. Well, that doesn't work out very well because, patients don't know what they need. You don't have to allow patients to book everything. But what you can do is make it easy for people to say book an exam or a cleaning. And at least then you're going to get those people who are in a hurry, or maybe they're in a busy office where they don't want to pick up the phone and call because it's going to be something that everybody hears, or maybe after hours, in the evening or early in the morning. So pretty important to be able to do that now. Send out automated confirmations and reminders via text and email. This will, number one, reduce your no-shows, but number two, will train your patients that you're going to be someone who communicates with them. And then automate post-visit surveys so you can get feedback and improve your service. Also, request reviews. Um, and when I say improve your service, when somebody gives you feedback, take that into account. Look at ways that how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? And then digitize your new patient paperwork with online forms so people can complete it ahead of time. I can't tell you how many times I've been frustrated sitting in a waiting room for whatever service it is, and I need to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. If I could have just done that at home beforehand and sent it in. Here's the other thing that I will tell you. If you're requesting information on those, read it because you end up asking questions to your patients that frustrate the heck out of them because they've written all of that into your new patient forms and they're thinking, why did I put all that in there? You're going to ask me anyway. So it's frustrating to them. So make sure that you look at those, at the information before you start talking to your patient because it does frustrate them when they have to answer questions that are in that paperwork. Another tip, offer waitlist notifications to fill last minute cancellations. Cancellations are a big deal. They cost you a lot of money. So if you can fill those appointments, and some people would just love to be on that list. So just a little tip there. Personalization, pretty important because we're really in a world of one size fits all messaging. If you can personalize your marketing, it helps your practice stand out and make your patients feel like they're seen and understood. And you can do that with targeted email campaigns, making sure that the patient's name is, at the top of that email, loyalty programs, making sure that they are rewarded for things that you want them to do, like giving you referrals, and also making sure that you have tailored content. So if you're sending out information about dentures, probably don't send that to your youngest patients, that type of thing. So um, just make sure that everything is as personalized as you possibly can get it. So let's take a look at some next steps. The first thing you need to do is figure out where you are because it's taking your practice to the next level. You need to have some sort of a plan. And in order to create a plan, you need to audit your current process and then identify any weak spots. And then develop a marketing strategy that's tailored to your patient base. What I mean by that is take a look at who your patients are. And those are likely the type of people you're going to get as patients through your marketing. So tailor it to those people. Think about your favorite patient. Everybody has one. Who are they? Are they that's 40 years old or older that has a professional job and maybe has some teenage kids? I don't know. Whatever it is, it is. And then tailor your marketing to whoever those people are. And then invest in tools and training to enhance the operations and patient experience. There's lots of options out there. So it should be pretty easy to find something that will make the patient experience better and help you as well, your staff as well. So how can SmileShop help? Well, we've been marketing dental offices for well over a decade, and that means that we custom design marketing strategies designed for dental practices specifically. And I want to focus on the custom part of it because you can grab a marketing strategy that someone else has done, but that might not be the best for you. So what we do is we work with you to specialize in full marketing strategies that are custom to you, that usually always start with a website that perfectly reflects your practice and brand, and then builds from there. The website is sort of the hub, and then everything else builds from that. Often people think, oh, you know what, I just need to add Google ads here and that will work. Well, if your website isn't the way it's supposed to be, you're going to spend money on those Google ads and it's going to cost you money and you're not going to get any new patients out of it. So it's important to do it the right way. Um, we have proven expertise in patient acquisition and retention. So, like I said, we've been doing this for well over a decade. And our marketing solutions look to drive conversions and attract the right type of patients. And then um, also keeping retention as a top priority. So if you attract the right type of patients that are a good fit for your practice, they're more likely to stick around. And long term, you'll end up having a practice that has a bunch of patients that are your favorite patients. We are also a full service marketing agency. You get full scope support from strategy to execution from your account manager. They will be your main point of contact and responsible for the development and maintenance of your full marketing strategy. They will work with you to make sure that it fits you and that it has attainable goals and that everybody understands what those goals are. They're going to be with you every step of the way. So, um, that's about all I have to go through today. I'm sure that this will raise some questions for you. It was a lot of stuff in a very quick amount of time, but what I'd like to offer is a complimentary consultation to anybody who has just gone through this webinar. Because often there are things that I went through that you don't quite understand, or maybe you do understand but have questions on how you might be able to implement them. And so feel free to reach out and book a consultation with me. Usually we'll take between 45 minutes and an hour to really understand your situation, and then we can make some recommendations and help you decide which direction you want to go. Completely no obligation. You're under no obligation to work with us after that, but hopefully we can give you some information that really helps. So thank you very much for attending. I appreciate you all sitting through this. And as I mentioned, feel free to reach out and book a consultation with me or send me an email either way. And we will see you next time. Have a great one.